Cape Mentelle Vineyards with winemaker Rob Mann. Now, Rob Mann's grandfather, Jack Mann, was a legendary Cabernet maker. He's so legendary they've named a wine after him at Hortons. So there's a bit of a Cabernet tradition in the family. So Rob, I barely recognise you with the furry face. What's that? Is that a vintage thing?
Yeah, it's a vintage thing. It's a tradition to not shave until the vintage is finished.
And so your grandfather made some famous wines at Hortons, your father grows Cabernet, and now you're just keeping on the family tradition.
Yep. And my grandfather's father before him, so it's a crazy family of Cabernet devotees.
Why is Margaret River so special in terms of, I mean, it's relatively new in the scheme of Cabernet growing in Australia, yet it pretty much takes equal billing as Coonawarra, which has a much longer history and reputation. So why so good here?
Well, this region was established because of its potential to make Cabernet. So in work done in the late 50s and early 1960s identified Margaret River as having similar climatic and soil characteristics to Bordeaux, and based on that it was thought it would produce wines in a similar style to that of Bordeaux, and it's proven to be the case, with Cabernet being the #1 variety from Margaret River. The region runs only 20 kilometres inland and 90 kilometres from top to bottom, and within that there's probably 100 producers, all producing distinctly different wines based on the combinations of soil and microclimates. It's local climate, really, very close to the ocean. It has a strong moderating effect on the climate, being so close to the Indian Ocean, and it has some very ancient gravelly soils which permit free draining, and Cabernet loves free draining soil. So the climate and the soil that ultimately produce wines with a great deal of distinction.
Mm-hmm. And is there a particular flavour? I know there's different parts and sub-regions to Margaret River, but if you're talking about the heart of Margaret River and a flavour profile of Cabernet, is there one?
With the many different sub-regions, different characters, but we typically see in the best expression of Margaret River a lovely structure. If it's too warm, you don't get the quality of tannin. If it's too cool, the flavours and structure can be on the greener side. It really needs to find that perfect medium to achieve an even palate and length that comes with growing the variety in a climate well suited to it. We typically see in the best expression of Margaret River a lovely structure. If it's too warm, you don't get the quality of tannin. If it's too cool, the flavours and structure can be on the greener side. It really needs to find that perfect medium to achieve an even palate and length that comes with growing the variety in a climate well suited to it. And around that structure, the classic Cabernet characters of dark fruits, cassis, a touch of mint, aniseed, really fresh, vibrant fruit, but it's fundamentally down to structure with Cabernet as to why it does so well here.
What would be the first choice of a plate of food?
Well, it would be regionally based, so this region is traditionally a lot of beef and dairy, so the beef is fantastic. We also have a lot of local venison or lamb. So lots of red meats to choose from. More recently there's some people producing some local ducks. Lots of interesting little things to try and explore around the place, and a lot of them complement the wine of the region very well.
You could probably argue that quality Cabernet from Australia may be the best value Cabernet around the world, actually. What do you think of that? Yes,
well, it's certainly on a world scale. The top Cabernets from Australia are relatively inexpensive. When you compare the top wines of Australia to first growths from Bordeaux, you're talking 1/5 the price. They offer amazing value for money, even at the top end. And then when you come into the more value-priced wines, tremendous value for money. So it's very unique in that perspective from a world scale.
So your granddad said that he thinks Cabernet was the only grape that's going to be tolerated in heaven. Is that what?
I think he thought if he had to drink anything when he was up in heaven, it had to be a good bottle of Cabernet.